Hot! Do your gear. Out. Head close interval. Open rank. March. Ready? Hot! Down your gear. Out.
Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I cannot hear you.
Good afternoon, sir.
That's better. It is a distinct pleasure as Police Commissioner to stand here before you and to introduce to you in a moment the Mayor of this great city, Mayor Bill de Blasio, who has committed his administration to continuing the historic declines in crime that we've seen in this city for the last 25 years. You are part of that continuation. You are a critical part of it. And we look forward to seeing you in Madison Square Garden in several months when you and the other 500 colleagues graduate on that day and join the most famous police department in the world and arguably the most successful. I have an expression: cops count, police matter. The individual action of a cop, the collective professional action of the police. We matter. We keep the city safe. We keep the public safe. And oftentimes at risk to our lives, at risk to your lives. We have a clear example of that, the heroic actions on Sunday. 2 Housing Authority police officers, both of whom remain in very critical condition, going into a building to respond to emergency calls. In several months, you will be expected, after training here at the Academy, to be in a position to step into the ranks of the NYPD, to pin that shield on your chest, that badge on your chest, and take the oath to protect the citizens of this city. It is an awesome responsibility, and one I thank you for agreeing to take. You will not regret it. From that moment on, you will have the opportunity to have a life of great significance, a life that matters every day. And if you do what you're supposed to do, if you do what you're committed to doing, that you will make a difference. I will look forward to welcoming you into the ranks of the department. At this time, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce to you, for his remarks, the Mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio. Sir.
Well, Commissioner, I think I've learned right away that the proper way to begin is by saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I think they did very well. I think they did very well. It is not. That's right. Training's working. It is an honor to be with all of you, and it's an honor to be with the leaders of the NYPD. And it starts with our commissioner. I have said it many times. I believe it from the bottom of my heart. The greatest police leader in this country, Bill Bratton, and we are honored to have him leading the NYPD.
If I may, sir, Lieutenant, if you could put them at ease.
Detail. Hooray. Yes.
Okay.
Much better.
A little more comfortable.
Yes, much better. We have so many of the great leaders of this department here. I want to thank Chief of Department Phil Banks. I want to thank our new Deputy Commissioner for Training, Ben Tucker, who's already doing such great work. I want to thank his whole team leading the great training efforts of this academy. I want to thank Steve Davis, our Deputy Commissioner for Public Information, James Hall, our Chief of Patrol, Carlos Gomez, Chief of Housing, and Deputy Chief Teresa Shortell, and all of you, the over 250 of you here today. And a special note, we have a special honor here today to be joined by George Kelling, literally the father of the broken windows theory, a man who's had an immeasurably good and positive impact on American policing, and a man who offered some very important ideas that affected the career of Commissioner Bratton and helped him to achieve what he has achieved in this profession. So, Mr. Kelling, it's an honor to have you with us. 3 months ago, Commissioner Bratton and I had the honor of speaking to you at Queens College as you started on this journey. 3 months from now, we will be with you at Madison Square Garden. You're midway through a challenging and rigorous course of training. It speaks volumes about you that you've made this choice. It speaks volumes about you. You're continuing on this path and learning, growing every day. You come here from many different communities, backgrounds, every part of this city and beyond, and you have one thing in common. You're becoming police officers to help people, to help your fellow New Yorkers in each and every situation. You are who we look to when the chips are down. I think you know it, but I want to say it on behalf of all 8.4 million New Yorkers. When we're in trouble, we look to the men and women of the NYPD. We know they'll be there for us. We know no matter what adversity we face, that you'll find a way to help those in need. And that is why you're called New York's finest. It's a powerful title, and it's a measure of the respect the people of the city have for each and every one of you. We did see, as Commissioner Bratton said, that kind of bravery, that kind of dedication in Coney Island on Sunday. We know that Officer Guerra, Officer Rodriguez are fighting every moment. And we stand by them, we stand by their families, and we have such respect for what they have done for this city. And we feel for their families as they go through this difficult time, but we know these two officers did what they did because there were people in danger, and they answered the call. The job, sadly but truly, requires selflessness, requires that kind of focus, that kind of ability to put yourselves in harm's way when others are in danger. And we honor you for it. You've been receiving the best training around. And when you're finished with that training, you will go to work as great police officers. And you will continue the work that we have embarked on these last months of bringing the police and community closer together all the time. I believe fundamentally, and I think it's been a hallmark of Commissioner Bratton's career as well, that you'll be able to do your job better every day as we deepen the tie between police and communities, we deepen the partnership, the mutual respect, the mutual efforts to keep us all safe. There were times in recent years where that relationship was tense and difficult in some parts of the city. It's something we're working every day to overcome because we believe in the partnership between police and community. We believe in policing that's tough and fair at the same time, that's proactive and respectful at the same time. We know it can be done. We know it has to be done for the safety of all involved. And I've asked Commissioner Bratton to return as leader of this department. And it was something he did selflessly. It was something he did even though it required personal sacrifice. I asked him to come back because I knew he could keep crime low and work with us to build upon the success of the last quarter century. And I also knew he could be a great leader in the effort to bring a deeper and closer tie between police and community. Already in 2014, we're making progress. We know it's progress. We have to win every single day. We know we have to be vigilant at all times. But already, we're seeing the beginning of healing while we keep crime low at the same time. There's no question, there's literally no question that this is the finest police organization on the earth. And it is an honor to be a part of it. And you have reached the level now where you're on your way to joining the very finest. But remember, you can never do it alone. You need each other, and you need the people of the communities you serve. Commissioner Bratton likes to remind us of where some of the greatest thinking regarding modern policing came from. As a founder of Great Britain's famous Scotland Yard, Sir Robert Peel. So as Commissioner Bratton likes to quote him, I've taken up the habit too. And one thing that Sir Robert Peel said is that for the police to be effective, they must, quote, secure the willing cooperation of the public in the voluntary observance of the law. Cultivating that cooperation, that mutual trust and respect is what Commissioner Bratton and I know each and every one of you will do. And it goes to the heart of the notion we've put forward, that to bring police and community back together begins with the way we train the men and women of the NYPD. And I have to thank Deputy Commissioner Ben Tucker for having returned to the force, having taken up this crucial role, having included in the Academy's curriculum new training on how to make more positive the interaction between police and community. And it's particularly fitting because once, not so long ago, Deputy Commissioner Tucker was standing exactly where you stand. So a man leading this fine academy went through the entire process from the beginning, served the people of the city, and has returned to it now, and for that we are grateful. You have a few important months ahead, and then you will take on that role on the streets of the city, protecting your fellow New Yorkers. You will pick up the responsibility to protect and serve all of us. And they are going to be years where, as Commissioner Bratton noted, you'll know why you made this choice. You'll know how important it is. You'll see the lives you save. You'll see the people you protect. You'll see the gratitude of your fellow New Yorkers as you do what no one else can do and are there for them in every moment of trial and tribulation. All I can say on behalf of the people of this city is thank you for stepping forward to join the finest police force in this country. Thank you. Are we dismissed?
I do. We're dismissed.
Okay.
Detail! 10, hut! Junior gear! Out! Entire group, lead, hey!
There are tons of ways people like you can help kids like me stay in school. And United Way is calling for you to be one of them. Because it takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between me becoming one or the other could be you. Make me a success, not a statistic.
Take the pledge to volunteer now at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Getting a parking ticket isn't fun, but it happens. It's best to deal with it right away, but if you've put it off, you'll need to find out where you stand.
How do I check the status of a parking ticket online?
You can check the status of your ticket online by logging on to the Department of Finance at nyc.gov. Just enter the ticket information or your license plate number. You can find out how much you owe or whether a ticket is in judgment. If you can't find your ticket online, don't panic. A printed ticket status is usually available within 4 days, and a handwritten ticket can take up to 3 weeks to be posted. Not contesting the ticket? Just use a major credit card to pay the fine online. Find it, pay it, and forget it.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311 or visit nyc.gov.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Have you ever either wanted to get in or out of your driveway only to discover that a stranger's car or truck is blocking it?
How do I report a vehicle blocking my driveway?
All drivers with a valid New York license are taught that blocking a driveway is a violation. In fact, the Department of Motor Vehicles states that you cannot park in a driveway, period. And yet the problem persists. So instead of doing something rash, register your complaint by contacting 311. There you could file a report letting them know that your driveway is being blocked. Or you could contact your local police precinct. Cars can be ticketed and towed. And if that happens, the perp will pay. Because fines are steep. It won't be cheap.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311.
With more than 8 million people living in the city, there's a whole lot of garbage and recyclables to collect. So to keep things running smoothly, there's a timetable for pickups in all 5 boroughs.
What is my garbage and recycling pickup schedule?
Your pickup day and time depends on where you live in the city. To find out, simply go to nyc.gov and search Refuse Collection Schedule. But remember, you won't be seeing that garbage truck on city holidays. Really bad weather, like a snow or ice storm, which can make getting around tough, can also mean delays or cancellations. And it's not just your wardrobe that changes with the seasons. Pickup times do too. Just go to the website to find out when to take out your trash and recyclables and when to remove your empty bins from the curb. How do I find a police precinct or police service area based on name or address?
Each neighborhood across the 5 boroughs has a specific police precinct assigned to it, and it can be very helpful to know which one is closest to you.
If you're trying to locate a police precinct or one of the 9 public housing police service areas, also known as a PSA, there are 2 ways to find the information on your computer. Log on and go to nyc.gov. Type in police precinct to find it by name, or type in find your precinct to locate it by address.
Remember, for more information about New York City government services, dial 311.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have bought with it. Visit EnergySavers.gov and get tips on how to save energy and money. Then do things like switch to Energy Star light bulbs or Energy Star appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars a year. So this doesn't happen to the recliner you've had your eye on, or this to the treadmill on your wish list, or this to the shiny new bike your kid's been asking for. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Did you know that New York City has a store? Well, it does. It's the City Store, the official store for the City of New York, where you can find everything from gifts and collectibles to municipal publications like the Green Book, and including a diverse collection of books about New York. So come to the City Store, located in the North Plaza of the Municipal Building. For more information, dial 311 or visit.
Where's my recording phone? I know. Well, the only thing that's good for work gave me a phone, and I'm like...
Go to nyc.gov and search DEP Ways to Pay Your Bill. There you can look at water usage and spot leaks and water waste that can cost you money. If you want to pay your bill by mail, phone, or in person, you'll need your account number located on the upper left side of your water bill. You can pay by phone by calling 866-6...
We're extending you the courtesy of giving you chairs now. Very good.
Deluxe version. Well, I just want to say 2 things up front before we take your questions. It's a tremendous honor to be with this class at the Academy, to see the great work that our new Deputy Commissioner Tucker is doing, and to see the future of the NYPD literally before our eyes. And really want to thank everyone at the Academy for the great work they do and for the way they're preparing the men and women of the force of the future to work ever more closely with communities and productively with the communities they serve. Second point I want to address, as I said earlier, our hearts go out to the Guerra family and Rodriguez family. These 2 officers remain in critical condition. We know how tough these last few days have been for these families, and they obviously have the support of Commissioner Bratton and I and of all New Yorkers. Commissioner Bratton and I are going to proceed after this up to Montefiore Hospital to visit again with the family of Officer Guerra and to show our support. And we'll have updates in the coming days as developments occur. With that, we welcome your questions.
Commissioner, is the department looking at making any procedures procedure or training changes to how officers respond to fires?
That we've determined that the department does not have and has not had any policies specific to this issue of going into buildings and utilization of elevators. It's a term of art, a policy deficiency. It is not unique to New York City. It is a deficiency evidently in the profession. Chief Banks, who is leading our investigation, our after-action investigation, his preliminary review of polling of other cities, London, Los Angeles, most other major cities do not have a policy or training to address this issue. Something we are certainly, based on this incident, going to correct very quickly for ourselves, but also take it to the larger profession, if you will.
Rodriguez, I guess, has clergy been called in to counsel the families? Is there any...
the clergy has been with them since day one. That we have a large cadre of chaplains. They have their own clergy. Our employee liaison people have been there with them constantly. Continuous stream of support, particularly from the men and women of the Housing Bureau, their colleagues. So, as the mayor indicated, current condition is still very critical for both of them, and we're going to be going up to visit Officer Guerra shortly, and then Officer Rodriguez a little later. So again, we're staying very aware and very involved in their treatment, their ongoing treatment. And we're very thankful to the hospitals concerned that they are doing extraordinary things to try and deal with the injuries these officers received.
In your remarks, you said that we're seeing the beginning of healing in terms of police and community relations. Can you elaborate on what exactly you're seeing in your first 98, 99 days?
Yeah, I think, over 3 months we have something of a sample of what community leaders all over the city feel. I've talked to city council members, I've talked to clergy, I've talked to community leaders, and what I hear consistently is that they appreciate that there are fewer stops. There are obviously many fewer arbitrary stops. That there is a message they're hearing from the top of the NYPD of police and community working together. And obviously the actions taken to settle the outstanding lawsuits. I think it all adds up to a sense among community residents and community leaders that something is changing for the better. We have a long way to go, let me emphasize. We know we have a long way to go, and we know we always have to be vigilant to both keep crime low and to deepen the relationship between police and community. But something important has begun. And I have to always thank Commissioner Bratton for the message he has sent to the people of the city and to the men and women of the NYPD, which I think has contributed greatly to the process of healing.
Commissioner Bratton, you testified at the City Council during a budget hearing recently about how much smaller the NYPD's headcount is today than it was the last time that you were commissioner, and the need for overtime that results in. Do you believe that the NYPD needs a larger headcount?
There's not a police chief in America that would not tell you that they'd like more cops. I'd always like more cops, but you work with what you have. We have a very large department. We also have, fortunately, the mayor has prioritized in this budget a good budget to work with, and overtime that similar to what's going on in the last 12 years to make up for the loss of those 6,000 officers. There's an overtime budget that effectively gives you the equivalent of those officers on a daily basis. So while the department is headcount down by 6,000, the overtime that we have available to us effectively allows us to police as if we had the larger department.
I think he said it beautifully. Again, we'll be announcing our executive budget in the beginning of May. I want to amplify what the commissioner said. I think this department is doing an extraordinary job with the resources it has, obviously continuing to keep crime low. And I have felt for a long time that when you see that level of effectiveness, and you see it on such a sustained basis, it tells us something about the fact that we're at a good and capable size right now. But again, we'll continue looking always as things develop, and every year's budget process is different. We'll have more to say around the time of the executive budget.
Any clarity on Officer Guerra in the Bronx while he was transferred from Jacoby to Montefiore. We know he was taken to Jacoby in the Bronx and then transferred to Montefiore, and I understand he has some serious issues.
Montefiore, if I understand it, is probably one of the top hospitals in the country for dealing with the particular issues, the severe smoke inhalation that Dennis Guerra is dealing with. So that while Jacoby certainly has a lot of what is important in dealing with smoke inhalation cases, Montefiore is that much better equipped with its staff.
No issues, cardiac issues that he faces as well?
Well, I can't, not being a medical person, I can't go into the specifics of it. It's my understanding that the reason for the movement was to give him the best medical attention for the issues he's facing, and that is at Montefiore. I'm sorry?
Is he on life support, officer?
In terms of the whole regimen that they're both in dealing with, respirators, et cetera, induced coma situations. Again, not being a medical person, that I would describe that, well, I really would hesitate to say life support. They're certainly receiving very significant medical care for their issue, but as to term of art, life support, I can't say that. They're both on significantly dealing with respirators, if I understand it.
What was your reaction to seeing the boy, Marcel Dockery's smiling face as he was being led out of the precinct?
The tragedy here is that a 16-year-old young man would not have common sense enough to understand the potential implication of lighting a mattress, as had been alleged, on fire in his own building. That how can any of us make any sense out of that? And particularly with the tragic consequences that ensued, or the even more tragic consequences that might have ensued if any of those residents of that building had entered that hallway instead of staying behind their closed doors. We'll let the courts work this out as they go forward, but a totally an action just devoid of any understanding.
Have any decisions been made about what this building is going to be used for when the new police academy opens?
I'm sorry?
When the new police academy opens, are there any decisions about what this building is going to be used for?
No decision has been made on that. This is a multi-use facility. We have a precinct here. We have a emergency service unit based here. Was formerly a high school many, many years ago. We will not be out of this facility till early next year in the sense of training our academy classes, like you just saw, that the new academy in Queens will not be ready for the next class that comes in July. So we will train them here. So decisions for the building are almost a year away now.
Mayor, do you have any briefs in Spanish for the Spanish media?
No, I'm sorry, I don't today. My apology.
The escaped prisoner from last night, is there going to be any discipline for the police officers, and has the prisoner been caught?
I'm sorry?
The escaped prisoner yesterday at 7-8, are any of those officers going to be disciplined, and has the prisoner been caught?
I think you can fully appreciate we'll take a very close look at their actions relative to that incident of the prisoner escaping from the back seat of that car. It should not have occurred, and we'll deal with it as we normally would, with a very thorough investigation.
One last question, Mr. Commissioner. In regard to the missing protocols about police officers ending burning buildings, will you be checking in with the fire department about that and getting their advice?
Let me ask Chief Banks to speak to that. He just briefed the mayor and I on, as you might appreciate, they've been working full-time since Sunday to address the policy deficiency to very quickly get it filled. So he can outline for you very quickly what interim steps we're going to be taking. Chief Banks.
Yes. To answer to your question, yes, we will be speaking to FDNY. Actually, I just had a conversation with the fire commissioner, and he will be assisting us at taking a look and advising us on some of our short-term implementation and certainly some of our long-term policy changes if required. So the answer to your question is yes.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.